plus the foul. Florida within 3. They had trailed much of the game. 8 minutes to go. Florida still down 3. Walter Clayton Jr., yes, that's his first made field goal of the game. Ties it at 48. 4.5 to play. Francis put
back the rim
slam.
again.
Houston up by 3. Then it's Clayton. Strokes it. We're tied at 60. What a finish. Next Houston possession. Still tied. Cryer, no. Tip, yes. Houston back up 2. Under a minute to play. Houston leading by 1. Cryer to the basket. Hawk going to get a hand on it. Florida going to get it. We're going the other way. Elijah Martin's going to wind up getting fouled. He would make the free throws, and Florida has a 1-point lead inside the final minute. 30 seconds to play. Houston down by 1. Emmanuel Sharp. Oh, he loses it out of bounds. Florida gets it back off a foul. They would go 1 for 2. So it's Florida by 2. Here we go. 11 seconds left. Houston down 2. I think they're going to go for the 3 and the win. I think they're going to go for the 3 and the win.
You got to get it up, Greeny.
Oh, Sharp, he can't touch it. It's a double dribble if he touches it again, and he knows it. Yeah. So he has to agonizingly let the final seconds tick off the clock. And that's all she wrote. In that fashion, Florida, the celebration, the hustle. Look at the crowd in Gainesville. The watch party goes nuts. Houston can't believe it. Florida, they win the national title 65-63. Afterwards, the thrill and the agony.
You know, we were able to do what we've done most of the year, even before the tournament, which is just stay the course. And obviously we hadn't had as many deficits over the regular season, but we had some adverse conditions and adverse moments, and our guys just never panicked. We did a really good job of just staying the course, and it worked out for us.
Yeah, I'm just going through those last 2 possessions more than anything else. You know, it's incomprehensible in that situation. We couldn't get a shot. Gotta get a shot.
What an extraordinary finish, and by that I mean just shocking. The mistakes from Houston. This is the team that won with the miracle comeback after Duke made all those errors on Saturday night, and then 2 nights later, Houston commits a turnover on each of its last 4 possessions. Their last made field goal came with 2 minutes and 29 seconds remaining. Florida only led in this game for a total of about a minute. You see it there, 1 minute and 4 seconds, but that was enough. And so live we go to San Antonio. Jay Will and my uncle Seth Greenberg, no relation. Let's start with that. Look, we will give all the credit in the world to Florida. They're the national champs. They deserved it. Seth, you told me before the tournament began they were the team to pick, and you were right. But let's start with the way that got away from Houston at the end. Through a coach's eyes, Seth, what did you see?
A brutal ending. I mean, a brutal ending because you want the ball in your best player's hands at the end of the game to win a basketball game. To turn the ball over your last 4 possessions, to not get a shot, absolutely will keep you up, not one night, for the rest of the summer almost. Just crushing for Kelvin Sampson and his basketball team. You couldn't take care of the ball, but it was bigger than that. It wasn't those just 4 turnovers. It was the foul trouble they got in the second half. They got both of the big guys in foul trouble, Francis and Tugler, which enabled Florida to get downhill, get to the rim, get to the free throw line. They went to the line 19 times. And you can say that Walter Clayton struggled during the game, but he made a huge 3 to tie the game up with 3:14 left, playing off the ball. But a absolutely brutal loss for this Houston team, but a very similar win for the Florida team. They won 4 games in this tournament where they trailed at halftime. They won 4 games in this tournament where you had to come back and make plays. So that was basically just a reflection of what they did to earn this national championship. But a brutal loss for Houston.
Well, let's live in that one for a minute, Jay. We have plenty of time, everybody. I'm not going to a break for a long time, so we got plenty of time to talk about this. Jay, how about that? 2 nights ago, you were bemoaning Duke and the mistakes at the finish and all the rest of that, and Houston was the team. We were talking about their culture. They knew what to do in the biggest moments of the game, all that sort of thing, and then for the script to flip that totally 48 hours later, a bit of a shocker.
So, Greeny, you know, I think the reason why a lot of people were in pain for Houston, in particular me, right, is at the end of the game, you want the ball in the hands of your best player. Now, Emmanuel Sharp, big-time player. You know, you talk about Uzan, big-time player. But the best player on their team was L.J. Cryer. And the last 2 possessions of the game, he did not get a shot up. So a lot of people are going to focus on Emmanuel Sharp and a great closeout by Walter Clayton Jr. and putting the ball down the ground, not touching it so he can't get the double dribble call. But my thing is the guy who's been averaging 18.6 points per game, the guy that single-handedly kept them in the game in the first half against Duke, the guy that can get the ball going offensively and is a bucket getter, did not get a shot up the last 2 possessions. You had 1 turnover by Sharp where he drives, and everybody in our room was like, where the hell are you going? He's driving towards 3 Florida players. And then the last play design, it seemed like it was for L.J. Cryer, but he passed the ball to Emmanuel Sharp, who made that turnover. And that, as a big-time player, I know that's going to haunt L.J. Cryer not getting a shot up those last 2 possessions.
He finished with 19.
Yeah. That last play was. Go ahead. That last play was for Cryer to come back off a rescreen. He got the basketball. I think what he did is instead of he wasn't open, so he reversed the ball. A great player. If it's Jay Williams, you would have wanted him to have the mentality to back it out. You're going to see he's going to come off of this free screen right here. Here's coming. He gets it. He should have backed that thing out. There was a pin down for Sharp right there. Back it out, open up the floor, give him some space to go downhill and make a play. Instead, that was the second option, bringing Sharp off that down screen. But Kelvin Sampson, he wanted 2 options in this play. Yeah. Re-screen and then a down screen for Sharp, who made a huge 3 against Duke.
I hear you, though. I hear you, Seth. All I'm saying, brother, is that at that moment, even if it's not open, take a second, pull it out, have the ball in your hands. I mean, it was a good pass. I hear you. 1 half fake. Sharp gets him in the air. He can make that 3, but I just.
If Sharp shot fakes and cracks him, or shot fakes and drives him, settling to shoot the 3 kind of drove me crazy a little bit.
That's all Sharp did the whole game.
But that's his game. Although in the game against Duke, if you remember, they got the switch and he attacked Flag and got to the front of the rim in one of the most key parts of the game. Brutal way to lose.
For the 3 and the win at the end, Cryer finishes with 19. Can I put up a 17? Because obviously for every action, there's an equal opposite reaction. To the winners go the spoils. In Florida, you mentioned it there briefly, Seth, the comeback Kings, they overcame deficits of at least 9 points in each of their final 3 games to win. They are the only national championship in the last 20 years to overcome a deficit of at least 9 points in the Elite 8, the semifinal, and the national championship game at any point in the game. And all of theirs came in the second half. So, Seth, I'll again with you. You told me before this tournament began, pick Florida. They're the team to beat, and you were right. What does it say about them that they found a way to come back? What does it say about them that Walter Clayton Jr., who had carried them through this tournament, did not have a big night last night, and yet they still found a way to win? What do we say about the national champs this morning?
The resilience. They got back in this game. Look, how do you get back in the game? You get back in the game by getting stops. I mean, down the stretch, they got stops. And when they got stops, they basically took advantage of it by not settling, getting downhill. Now, Walter Clayton, in clutch time, he still made that big 3 with 3:14 to go to tie the game up. But it's the resilience, it's the toughness, it's the different guys that can impact the game and impact winning. The second half, they go to the line 19 times. In the second half, they play downhill. In the second half, they got stops. In the second half, they didn't flinch. And they didn't flinch against Connecticut. They didn't flinch against Texas Tech. And they didn't flinch in the biggest moment on the biggest stage. They made the plays they had to make on both ends to win a banner.
And then finally, Jay Will, I want to put up one other thing because it's part of the storyline here. Cindy, A20 if we can. This is a tweet from you last night. And RC, we're borrowing your feature here, and we're going to have Jay Will explain his tweet. He tweeted, "You can't call the first half like a UFC fight and call the second half like it's a ballet. Shout out to Florida for best adjusting to